welcome to Spirit Switchboard. I'm your host, Carrie Lynn Shellhorn, and you are listening to us live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast, 107.7 FM in New Orleans. I'd like to invite you to check out our website, uprntalkradio.com. You can find out more about exactly, Wayne, woot woot. You can find out more about our hosts and shows. There's something for everyone. It's not all high strangeness and paranormal. There's thousands of archives for you guys to access. So much. So you can check us out there. How's everybody doing? I am surviving all of this. Where is everybody at? It has been so cold. My car wouldn't even start today. I was outside trying to talk nice to it, see if that would help if I was talking sweet nothings to get it started, and it just wouldn't. I had to call in the cavalry to come over with a booster and give me a little bump to get it going today. But my mom in Sault Ste. Marie is buried in snow. So if I had to, the cold, I would take over all of that snow. How's everybody doing? Aw, thanks, guys. I'm going to bring Michelle out right away, and then we'll start saying hello to everybody. There was a little last-minute change that needed to happen with this schedule, so I was really grateful. Our network manager, our friend, host of Beyond the Outer Realm, and her co-host with her, Amelia Pisano, Michelle Desrochers, stepping in and hanging out with me tonight. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. I always have fun with you. Might not be mutual, but I have fun with you.
Of course it is. It always is. And you know what? When things go sideways, I think that you roll with it really well. So you stay nice and grounded. And I always feel like my Chihuahua brain is showing out, and I don't know how to tuck it in, but people tell me they can't see me doing the freak out loud.
That's okay. It's okay to just let her go.
They say that, and then you do, and they're giving you side eye.
And it's a thing. It's a thing. I love it.
It's so funny.
It's okay to have a Chihuahua brain.
I mean, we all love our Chihuahuas.
Yeah, we do. We do. I know. I've had tons of them. I got 2 right now. Bossy little ladies.
Doesn't Joe have 2 as well?
Yes. Again, bossy little ladies. All little females.
Nora is a Chihuahua pug, but she is definitely a bossy lady as well. Yep. Too.
It's a small dog syndrome. It's that Napoleon syndrome. I have one, they're both about 2 pounds apiece. One can't barely even see. And she carries on like she's going to take on anybody who comes to the door. My son picks her up and goes, "Look, there's nobody there." Oh, wait, sorry.
It's so funny that they bark and they can't even see out the window.
No, exactly. Oh, sure. And then you open the door and all of a sudden it's like, no, I think we'll just be quiet now because we don't want to be seen. It's kind of like that. Don't see me. Don't see me. That Dracula scene. Don't see me. Nina, that's the dog. So
yeah.
Beautiful thing.
Nora is her head is Chihuahua, but her body is pug. So she looks like a small Ottoman.
Yeah. I love them though. They're so cute.
She's just pretty cute. She's pretty cute.
Oh my God.
Did you guys get hammered with snow?
Yes.
We did.
We have so much snow here right now, and then you have that deep freeze. So you're all stuck with it. Then we had 2 squirrels that decided to just take up into the attic, and we're like very loud, like they fight and everything. So we had to gently relocate them. Everybody thinks, oh, they have babies. No, that's not till like sometime in the spring. And we took them to a nature reserve. So there's more food and stuff left out for them. So this way here, they don't have to all be fighting, and they have all nest boxes and everything all over the place for birds and critters. And I'm like, perfect. Because it was just like every morning, it's all scrapping up there, all territorial. It's like, come on. Work with me for the love of all that is holy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And Wayne goes on a mission. It's Battle of the Wills after that. So it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah, talking nice to them too doesn't help.
No.
Okay.
They don't care.
No. I know this is sideways, so our squirrel on Red Ball now, but I just saw the postings about Catherine O'Hara passing away right before.
I know.
I'm kind of gutted.
I know. That's like a whole Beetlejuice era and the Home Alone era. And I know I
She's
saw
a Canadian
that today.
icon.
Yes. And she was awesome. Everybody just loved her.
Yes.
She was so sassy in Beetlejuice. I just loved her.
It just,
yeah,
again, graceful and stunning and
Yeah.
giving of herself.
Yes.
Just lovely. And then I read Macaulay Culkin's tribute to her, and then I had like a big old cry. So that was
the celebrity deaths. Like, whoa. I know.
Well, it's interesting about celebrity deaths. Certain ones hit harder,
Yes.
and
I have family members that would just go into complete grieving mode with that.
With celebrity deaths?
Yeah.
Oh.
Full on. I'd be just like, why? I could never get my head quite around it because you feel bad. I do. I'm like, oh, that's an end of an era. For me, it just comes into like an end of an era because we kind of grew up with them in that era, right? Home Alone and Beetlejuice, like the first one, like that was sort of, and then it's
just Creek,
right?
Watch Schitt's Creek.
I know. I know, but she was versatile.
Loved
I mean, Second City, right? Of course you're versatile,
Yeah, it was a little shocking
Sad.
and sad. And I apologize, folks, if you didn't know and I just delivered the news. So
oops.
I apologize if I just
have some grieving going on in the chat room.
poke you in the eye of that.
Yeah.
Let's say hello. I'm always happy to see you, Wayne, in the chat. Hello.
Breath of fresh air.
Contessa Martins, hello. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Astrolite Paranormal. You guys, I bet you guys are slammed with snow there too, right? Hi, Carrie. Thank you so much for being here. Heidi Cole, thank you. Thanks for being here, and thank you always for sharing us out in the way that you do. We appreciate all of your support.
Mm. We love Heidi.
Yes, we do.
She's like part of our UPRN family. We all adopted her.
Yeah, so
Mark Monzo, everybody's showing up.
Yeah, everybody in the chat, and I love that they support all of the shows the way that they do.
Mm-hmm.
Mish, hello.
Misha asked, she goes, she was in Beetlejuice. Yeah, she was a mom in Beetlejuice 1 and in 2. She did a small, cameo.
Lots of snow highway. I know the wind was crazy and bitter temperature. Squirrels in the attic.
Bam, the nemesis.
Oh dear.
Yep.
Oh dear. We've not had squirrels in our attic, but we had birds in our bathroom vent. Like the vent wasn't covered outside, and birds nested inside in the spring and then had babies. So we didn't turn the bathroom light or the fan on for weeks because we didn't want to wake up the baby birds. So we're all in the bathroom going pee in the middle of the night or early in the morning with the lights on because we didn't want to wake the birds up.
Oh,
and then when they left, then we got the thing covered.
I love it.
Hi, Pam. Yes. So when I was talking about calling in the cavalry to help me with my car because it didn't want to start today, it was Pam's husband, Frank, came.
Awesome.
Yes. We love Frank and appreciate him very much. Agreed. Life changes without warning. Exactly. No handbook to consult. Exactly. Joanne Belsario, thank you so much for being here. Oh, thanks. So I have an online intuitive mentoring group, and that was the Life Changes Without Warning. So it was an all day with Lily. So
that's cute. She just makes it. that much more special.
Yes, and then she announced to everybody that she's going to have a baby brother. So that was now it's now out in the open.
Yeah, for all of you who
And
didn't
we
know.
don't really know that it's a brother. We just know
Oh.
it's the size of a blueberry. And
Right. And well, we know Lily's choice.
yes, and that it's on the way. But maybe she's got something, you know? Like,
Oh, I'm sure she
find out.
does. Without a doubt. With her grandma.
Yes. Yes. Julie Dow, hello. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, a Taurus girl reads. I love that. And what are you currently reading? My kids got me a book, Anthony Bourdain.
Yes.
Oh,
That's a rabbit hole that you have to go down sometime.
I think it's my third. It's a third book from him.
Oh, very interesting.
Or about him so down that rabbit hole.
Yes.
Heidi Gold is sharing, I connected with you, Carolyn, when you had Michelle on before. Oh, I thought you, Carolyn.
Oh, Katie Turner. my one of my paranormal survivor compadres. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Katie's awesome.
I have not connected with Katie, but
Yeah.
cool that you thought.
Yeah, she's great.
Doing my own paranormal survivor over here on my own. Oh my gosh, there's some. Oh, Carrie, so that's funny. Carrie Lover spat in the attic with the squirrel.
Oh, it was something. I don't know if it was lovers or what it was, but went pretty quiet in that attic. Somebody got the upper paw.
No kidding. So, Mish, I think that's why it was so shocking for everyone is that there was no lead in to her passing, that there was illness or anything going on for her. Oh, you're seeing all of these comments way before me. Contessa is sharing Robin Williams hit me hard. That one did too. I think it was just so very sad, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that was sad for sure.
In the manner that all happened. Oh. Shauna was asking what platform. Yes, it is StreamYard. It is StreamYard. Oh, Richie, you know what, Richie? I was talking about you earlier and I was going to talk about you tonight. So I'm really good. I'm really happy that you're hanging out in the chat. And I realize you may not be here the whole night. So I'm still going to talk about you at some point.
Only nice things.
Always nice things because I love Richie.
Yeah.
I love Richie and his show. And part of what we were wanting to talk about, Richie does, and he does it well. So Richie, Bigfoot Banter. So Banter with Richie B is his podcast. So with Wojo, and Richie's just started his own network as well too, which is pretty cool. Seems like heavy energy this week. Somebody's got something to tell me. Oh, yeah, it's been a week, Richie, for sure. Oh, Mish, that makes sense too, being from Australia, right?
Mm-hmm. That was the world, I think, really mourned that one. That was
when
a tough
Steve
one.
Irwin died.
Because he was so wholesome, you know.
That's right.
To
And then
the little
watching
ones
his,
and
being so in the public eye, the whole family.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, Heather Stewart McLaughlin, thank you so much for hanging out and being here. She's got Come to the Forest, which is her property. So she brings people out to hang out in the trees.
In the trees. I love it.
It's a great space. All kinds of different offerings there. We love you too. Thank you, Richie. I'm pretty grateful too. You know, yeah. One of the things that I wanted to do the open mic tonight, mostly because my brain has been so foggy and it has been a heavy week. I was like, I don't know what we're going to talk about. Even shared that yesterday. I don't know what we're going to talk about. It could just be an open mic, but trying to think of a couple of topics that we could, start with and bring the chat in and roll from there. And,
sure. I'll follow your lead.
Well, so one of the things that I wanted to talk about was like live investigations, and that's what Richie does. And but how that also changes, like you see those caught on cameras, and some of it is those AI generated, and how people can tell the difference and where is that wibbly wobbly line and all of that kind of stuff. And then I was thinking about pareidolia when you're doing that, like if it's chat driven investigations, how that can affect so many different things and how they perceive information. The way that Richie does it, I just love it because it is boots on the ground, and his community is so brilliant in how they support and are part of the investigation when they go live. And there's no gatekeeping with Richie either. It's like, here's how we do it. And it's Bigfoot in his backyard. And Richie, when I was thinking about you earlier too, in the other half of the things I was wanting to talk about when we talk about spirit boxes and portals and Frank's box and all that kind of stuff, and how that evolves, the blending of paranormal and off-worlders.
Yes.
And off-worlders. And it's all connected, how it's all connected, and that eventually you cannot not include aliens and off-world beings into the conversation. You have to include them into it, and it just evolves into that space. And I know you have it all for sure. And I remember when you had said, "What's this?" And I said, "I think this," and you were like, "Ma, I was not wanting that," right? And it's just, you can't have one without the other, and it just evolves, right? So those
100%.
that's right. And maybe we should start. Maybe we can start there.
Anywhere you want.
Let's
Anywhere you
start
want.
there in how that. You have it all where you are. He's in the Bridgewater Triangle is
Oh, yes.
where he is at.
That's a whole lot of everything.
It is a whole lot of everything. It is right back in his backyard.
Yes.
And Richie sat quiet about it for like 8 years before he was like open about it. And I think a lot of us, when we're having these experiences, sit quiet because, there's the acceptable line, which is, the paranormal. People seem to be okay about wanting to talk about ghosts and stuff. But then when you start to go outside of that into Bigfoot, which is a little more acceptable, but aliens, we're still kind of getting there with the comfort zone for people.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if you start, there's a lot of people who look at cryptids as being very quantum as well. If you look at Ron Moorhead, he talks a lot about that. And it's funny because after we did that show a couple weeks ago, somebody commented in the chat and he said, well, think the do's and don'ts, I guess, of, if you happen to come across a Bigfoot. I'm not talking about a researcher, maybe just somebody who's a novice or just camping. And anyway, apparently the gentleman who left the comment said, well, my buddy, relieved himself somewhere in the forest. Like, I don't think much about it. I mean, people do, and they're camping. And he said, unbeknownst to him, it was in a Bigfoot territory. And he was followed home because he wasn't camping. He was just like going out through the woods. And he came home to find that a Bigfoot had actually peed on his bed. And his suitcase. I kid you not. And the thing is no windows, no doors had been unlocked, nothing. So is it this quantum thing where he just made it in and out, and because the footsteps, everything was outside, like it was all there.
So funny, even within those communities, so Bigfoot community, cryptid community, or the paranormal community, when you push something that's a little more outside the box, it becomes this divisive conversation as well too. And how many people don't want to look at them as being, dimensional beings.
I know, and it's possible, and if you start looking at some of the research, from Dr. Melba, who's specializes in DNA, that's her thing. I mean, she has done DNA analysis at the criminal level to help with very difficult cases in California, and basically has shown through testing that Bigfoot has a human mother and Dogman. So she came on their show and talked about that, and it will be coming back on, if I'm not mistaken, to talk about the Dogman part of that. So it makes you wonder who's your daddy. Yeah.
Get out. Okay, now I've got questions. So
Well, you hear about stories like that, right? Throughout
she's coming.
the indigenous.
So yes. Mm.
There's a woman in Russia who, I think it was Russia, one of those countries out in that area, who had a son who with a Bigfoot. There's photos, so it's not so far in the Wayback Machine. There was a photo, and he looked, very much like he was half and half, and just grew up in the community normally. I don't know. It's out there. What don't we know about,
So I know Thomas Seawood talks about that as well too, like them kidnapping and taking. So then is there different communities as well too? So are they, because if you ask Thomas Seawood, he's not going to buy into that they are telepathic or infrasound or dimensional in any way, shape, or form. They're community, like that has been here forever. So is there kind of both?
I have no doubt that they've been here forever. There've been a lot of beings that have been here forever. Long before us. We are not the first kick at the can here, that's for sure.
Agreed. Hi, Lorraine. Thank you so much for being here. Vicky W. I agree. People don't like to color outside lines. Well, I'm on the outside for sure.
Yeah. Yes.
Your life is everything in this woods. I just appreciate the transparency. Like, people are watching the equipment as you're doing it. There's just, it's just well done, Richie. I'm just very proud. Very proud to be your friend. Jackie Collins, thank you so much for being here. Guardian 4, good evening. Hello. Thank you so. Oh, Richie, do you want to? We can totally do it.
Yeah.
I get into panic mode about like multitasking while I'm on air. So if you guys want to fill in the chat while I try.
It's okay. I know the manager.
Yes, I won't get yelled at.
You're fine.
My Chihuahua brain was so bad today. I'm going too slow. I'm multitasking slow. Bigfoot. Do they ever have a tail or a tailbone? Oh, Danny, I'm really happy that you're here. Some say that Bigfoot is the original human and we are the hybrid. That's pretty interesting too.
Mm-hmm. I love all the different perspectives,
Carrie is sharing, I have heard conversations of human mothers of Bigfoot. Recently, a woman did this past fall, met the father as children and grew up meeting each other in forest. Eventually, she mated with him. Yeah, no, Richie, I'm all for it. Yeah, if you want to allow me to share, I think that's pretty cool, and we can have that conversation. It's open mic night, and I really had a couple of ideas on where we were going to go, and having the chat lead sometimes is great. And thank you very much.
I love it. I love when the chat room decides what you're talking about.
Yeah,
that's great.
Hi, Jen. You just let me. I don't believe they have a tail, but a tailbone, I believe. Oh, sorry. I wanted to put Contessa's. Do you think that CERN, that they opened up to another dimension, that stuff has come through? Yeah.
That's what the scientists are saying. There have been claims from a couple of different scientists. In fact, I mean, there's stuff posted now that they have opened up dimensions, and that they claim that they have had beings come through. Some, ET, others not so kind. But if you factor in, and you can go on YouTube and find videos of what looks like some kind of satanic ritual going on right outside the building. So,
you can see it for sure.
Yeah.
Hello, James. Thank you, everybody that said hi to James last night. Wished him a happy birthday. Filling up with caffeine. Please be safe on the rest of your drive. So thanks for popping in and saying hi while you're there. Okay.
All right, butt cheeks, do it.
Let's do yes. Because Richie, the lights that you guys have captured are pretty interesting for sure. And you just I'll keep watch. Did you send them? Oh, you sent them already. Sorry, I will see what I can do.
He says, I just sent 8, but we have hundreds.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Keep in mind, these are pictures of lights with intelligence, not orbs.
Yes.
Yeah, squirrel. Okay, hang on. Let's see how I do this. And sometimes when you've got StreamYard open, it takes forever to open up another tab and for things to download.
I just put everything on my home screen and I go in and share whatever's on the home screen. This makes life so much easier.
How do you do it?
Easy. Go down to where it says present, right? The little TV down there. When you click on that, it'll say share screen.
Yeah.
Click on that and you'll see where it says window. If you put them on your screen, go where click on window. And when you click on window, it'll give you all the options of everything sitting on your screen. You click on one and it comes up.
Right, but do you want all your whole Facebook
page
to show up?
You don't. Oh, no. Well, just click on the picture. Bring up the picture. And that's what you click on when it comes up, and just take that, save it, and move it to your screen.
Sorry, folks, we're doing like tutorial 101.
Doing double duty working.
Yeah. If I can get them. There we go.
Yeah, just bring it up. Yeah, and that's the easiest, quickest way to do it.
Okay. Let's see if we can go.
All right, there we go.
Where did you go, Richie? That's what I wanted. Oh, Kimberly Burner, hello. Thank you so much for being here. Richie's sharing. They walk with us and stare at us. Wojo zooms in with his phone. Okay.
You have it?
I don't know. Okay, we're gonna find out, folks. We're just gonna. It's all for the butt cheeks, man. We're trying to make it happen.
That's right.
We're hitting share screen, right?
Yes. So you share screen. Go up to where it says window. Click on window.
Oh.
See it? Yeah. See it? And choose the one that you want. And that's the only thing you click on is what's going to come up.
No, I don't. Oh. I don't understand that.
Where are you lost?
Please remember, I said that I had a foggy brain today. It was like a bad Chihuahua brain.
Click. Okay, when you share screen, you go over to the top. It gives you 3 options. Click on the one that says window.
Yep, got it.
Then it has all these. You can put, you can scroll down to whatever the picture it is you want, or whatever it is you want, and click on that, and then click share.
But it's not really doing that. I don't know how to explain to you.
You have to make sure that you have the picture on your screen.
Yeah.
Somewhere on your computer screen. Sure?
Yeah. It's there.
It's like, yeah.
It's there.
Okay, so if you go to where it says window, okay, got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It's what I thought I was needing to do. I'm just making it more complicated than I needed to.
Richie's going,
making it a comedy show.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing. We're making it a comedy show.
We could do that. You can be comedy relief. I got your back. There it is. There we go.
Are that way for sure. There we go.
Yeah, bring it up.
There we go.
Okay.
I don't know if I can make it.
comment there. That might be a little easier to see.
Did we
Yeah,
have
I'm
to
making
change
it
something?
bigger. I don't know. Yeah. There we go.
There we go, folks. There we go, folks.
Ooh. Is that a nostril? What am I looking at?
Zoom in. All right. Sorry, Richie, you're probably at home dying to get in at my computer this way.
So you're not showing it right.
No, this is humbling. How much am I zooming in? Where am I going, Richie?
Zoom in on that dude, he says. There we go. Yeah. Because do you have Google Drive? Is what he's asking as well.
He had bright red light off to his right. Hello, Wojo. It might not be doing you.
Above the light, he says. Look above the light.
Am I doing it good?
Yeah, he says, yeah, never mind that. The Google Drive. Okay. Okay. So I don't know. Mind you, I'm a novice at this. So I'm not like a cryptid researcher. Not that I haven't had an experience or two, but there's some things I just don't want to go in the woods with.
Yeah. Sorry,
You
folks.
know?
Hang on a second. Let me pull up eye sockets and bone structure up the middle. That makes sense.
Yeah. See. Yeah.
Give me a second. Let me see.
God, that's a great picture.
Let me see. And I'll get the other ones open up. And thank you to both of you for letting us share. The telepathic thing is something that, and the infrasound.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people who report getting really sick or disoriented after having an encounter, and some researchers attributed that to infrasound. So he says the light is a cover. Then we zoom in to see what's behind the light. Don't mean to spam the chat. No, feel free. It's a great interaction.
Oh, this is what I want to do. And you guys are out at nighttime too, eh? I want the butt cheeks.
I'm focused on one thing at a time. This is what it is right now.
Who's not focused on butt cheeks?
I know. Oh, next thing you know, butt cheeks start just pouring in. Carrie Lynn's email.
Butt cheeks gone viral.
Uh-oh.
You're not spamming. You're doing great. And I appreciate Richie, and I'm sorry.
I love this guy.
The weirdo in me honors the weirdo in you, dude. Hang on a second. I'm sorry that I'm not doing it justice. It has been. Thanks, Wojo. Hang on a second. I'm going to share this, though.
Beautiful. Wow. It's big. Hence why I would not necessarily want to be out in the woods at night. You've got a foot like that. Right? Oh my goodness.
See, that's exciting though.
Yeah, it is. It is. Hi, Michelle.
Hi,
No,
Michelle. Hi,
absolutely.
hello, Naomi Gerhard. Shelley Ann Blanchard is asking, why do investigations happen
Only at night,
only at
I
night?
guess. Yeah.
Well,
I don't think she meant to say Korean.
yeah.
No. I have to double check. I'm like, what? Is that a thing?
We believe the track was Mama and the Teenager. That's awesome.
Wow. Wow.
And,
Amazing.
and I mean, if you please follow Richie. Like if you follow them, they don't go out
Thank you.
just at nighttime. They're
Yeah.
out there. They're out there at different points in time too, and stuff is always happening. What I also love it is the way that like you guys set up the gifting chair and receiving the gifts back and forth from them, which is
I
pretty
think
cool.
that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I think that's wonderful.
Okay, thank you, Jenny. So they're getting very bright red lights now, and the energy world with chakras reds means safety. If you're balanced and grounded, do you guys feel that? Do we feel that off the pictures, or do we just feel that as working as energy workers? I just want to make sure I understand the question. Is there a way of... I'm going to pull that down now. Daytime, Dusk, and Darkness. I know you're out. Oh, you do a show called Daytime, Dusk, and Darkness. That's awesome. Either or, Denny is saying. Michelle, do you want to? I'll pull this down.
I'm going back to the question. So
let me pull it up.
Getting very bright lights in the energy world with chakras, which means safety. If you are balanced or grounded, do you guys feel that? Well, I'm a big believer in grounding energy. I mean, I've worked with people for 2 decades who just seem to attract all kinds of crazy stuff because they're scattered. Their energy is scattered. And I do feel that if you do proper grounding, then you'll know, if you're feeling properly grounded because you won't be as scattered. And I feel it makes it easier to stay focused with your energy and less enticing to things that are out there that may want to attach, or hitch a ride. So yeah, I do feel that.
So, I mean, in the paranormal investigation too, don't the Gainesfield glasses flash red, like, and help you get into a different zone if you're going into a meditation? They have, like, put the red light at you. Do you know what I mean?
I have not gone into actual full-on investigations. When I started getting more into consultation stuff, I stopped the investigations, like in-home investigations and such. I have equipment, that I don't think I've ever used, like the God helmet. Everybody used to ask me about the God helmet that used to be seen on Paranormal State. And I used to do a lot of events where I would show equipment. I'd say, yeah, it is a thing. And I had to sign some waivers to get into the country because it could cause like issues with your brain. So, I had team members going, we'd like to try. No, I will not be responsible for messing with your wee brains. So, yeah, I don't know.
Because I thought there was something about using the red light also, and a red lens shifted you into a deeper meditation that allowed that connection to happen with a little more clarity, or the communication to go a little deeper.
I could see that.
I'm like, I'll try. I'm one of those people. Sign me up for the God helmet. I'll give it a try.
All right. Like they're little electrodes that you have to put onto your head and stuff. It's crazy. There's all kinds of crazy stuff. Honestly, I spent a small fortune on equipment just to show people, yes, it does exist. You want to use it? No, you may not.
It's their inheritance. I do feel that. So when we're talking about chakras, Denny, I used to it was a company from BC that did color baths So there were these packets, and you would just put them in your bathtub, so it wouldn't stain your tub, but it was all the chakra colors. And particularly for my kiddos, like my daughter did them a lot. If she was having to do a speech at school, if she had to do any of those things, she would always get the red one, and it did make her feel safe and grounded and more confident. And I think sometimes we do that subconsciously, like we'll pull out a red sweater, or we pull out those things, even though, you know, it's subconsciously, but aligning our chakras, or I don't know. What do you have thoughts about that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I haven't really thought much about that. I really am one of these people that you know, I could experience something, and I experience so much, so I don't know that I analyze it all. Maybe I should, you know, but I think after a while, it's kind of like you just throw caution to the wind. It's like, I don't know, it just hit me, but I'm with it. You know, it's just a smack of energy. It's like, all right. No, but you just sort of, I don't know, like I don't really fear a whole lot. And people say, do you ever like say prayers of protection, things like that? I'm like, maybe I'm just a bit of a meathead that way, but I've never really, I've never really gotten into a lot of that grounding and such. Yes, you know, for sure.
Yes, grounding for sure. And maybe we don't need to use the word safety. Maybe we could use stability.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
having that. Yeah.
I'm all
'Cause I
for
don't.
any sort of protection. Really, I am.
You know. Hello, Thirsty 86. Thank you. Carrie sharing, I remember hearing people waiting in a green room before they came on stage for a show. Green is supposed to be calming, is what
Yeah,
was
like
explained.
the green room. Yeah, that's true.
Dude, I'm trying. Well, Joe, I'm just trying to open up these, and I'm just not getting it. And I'm telling you, I think it's because I'm.
Can you not just save the picture and then bring it up to the?
Try.
Oh. Misha says they were putting jailed inmates in colors for behavior. That's very interesting.
Oh, there we go. Let's try this, guys. Unless you gave up and left.
Like,
Which
oh my gosh.
I fully understand why, if you did.
Very cool. Yeah.
So
Just trying to help off.
I appreciate you, Wojo. Thanks, Richie. Do you guys want to tell us about the red lights? So these are the red lights. That other photo that you sent me a few weeks ago, Richie, that one was pretty cool too. These are the ones Denny was talking about, the red lights. Gotcha.
Very cool.
So do you know where I've seen red lights in the trees or in the bush? Is at oh my goodness, my brain. In Burlington. The ruins where the park is. Oh my Lanta. Where they do investigations. I think there are people, it's the house where the lady lived with her animals in the ruins when she had the house fire. Remember, she lived in the
Oh, that one.
Hermitage.
Yeah, the Hermitage. Yeah, that's Ancaster.
Ancaster.
Yes,
So
yes.
I've seen red lights in that bush.
Me too, in the woods. And I
Yeah.
now hear drumming.
There's something
Mhm.
for sure on that property. And somebody was trying to tell me that there was dark rituals and things that had happened and maybe so, but the red lights didn't feel attached to something like that. The red lights felt very different for me.
Yeah, the time I saw them kind of floaty, about
Yes.
off in the distance in the woods. That's when I heard drumming. So I thought, oh, felt maybe it's something more indigenous, something because I to me that's calming,
Yeah.
So
But
yeah, it's interesting.
Wojo, you've kind of done that dive into the indigenous connection with Bigfoot, right? Like with Sasquatch, I think that you have done all that.
Oh, strong connections. I think our indigenous people, really all over the world, are the ones who had better understandings of
Yes.
working with any, you
Yeah.
know, f- any beings. I mean, you hear oral history all over the place when it comes to the different names they have for Bigfoot and other beings, within the territories, or their areas, as well as people from the stars. I mean, they emulated and they drew what they saw. If you're
Well,
getting into old cave art and petroglyphs and things like that, it's everywhere if you just look or
and
ask.
understanding the interconnectedness.
Yes, absolutely. Mind you, some communities, indigenous communities will say, "Oh, we can't talk about that." Like,
Yeah.
it's like in Canada, you have indigenous people are just like, "Ah, the Wendigo, no, we just don't wanna go there." Whereas in the US, it's like, "Oh, that's a skinwalker, we don't wanna talk about that." But there are some indigenous communities feel the same way about Bigfoot
Hmm.
as well, you know?
I I know that. Oh,
Love that. Yeah, I love that.
yeah. So Wojo has his own show now too. So I'm
Very
actually doing
nice.
that on my Tuesday show about indigenous meanings of shapes, rocks, and different types of bird feathers. I love that, Wojo.
Yeah, that's excellent. Nobody really does it, which is what I love. This is something completely different.
And we can't. You can't. I know that we're not saying the word alien, but you can't do cryptids without the aliens. Like it's just all or the
I
paranormal.
I think it's all connected.
Yeah.
Really, I do. We use the word "it" for skinwalkers out of respect for our indigenous friends. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that. I think that's wonderful. Yes, the star people, exactly.
Stop.
I know that, out of a couple of decades where I was more actively working, it ended up I started talking to the people I was working with, and at least half of them had, ET connections as well, experiences while they were going through paranormal things, so I kept thinking it was is this like a crossover phenomenon of some sort, because, I mean, if you look at the whole John Keel
Yeah.
parallel universe thing, where he believes like sometimes and it goes, orbs can at times be discounted for sure. I mean, a lot of things can be an orb, and there's a lot of paranormal or levels of high strangeness that can be too. Like we can't discount everything, but because they are seen in the paranormal, they are seen with cryptids, they are seen, around places of like power spots or around UFOs and things like that. But one thing that seems to have been very um, very clear in the people that I've spoken to, and I have experienced this myself, and it made me question everything because I did grow up, with a malevolent sort of entity, and TV can label whatever they want. Get me started on that whole freaking
Right.
talk. I'm gonna let that go. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, I was also an experiencer, of ET from a very young age. And, before my mom passed, I started asking questions, like as an adult, she goes, "Oh yeah," and would give me all this stuff. And "Oh yeah, your grandfather did that and your grandmother." And then she goes, "Oh yeah, your dad's to see all kinds of them." Okay, so was it like from both sides of the family? So how do I say, "Oh no, that wasn't a thing," right? So I think I started really questioning what was I really experiencing? Because, for example, okay, in people have reported having, going through an abduction, okay, similar things to what people have smelled in their house when allegedly like a demonic being's there. For example, foul smells like sulfur, the bright white lights, crackling sounds. You're dealing with a lot of times like the crackling sounds and lights would happen at the same time, and they would feel like they would hear like this tearing sound, which was which is a belief that maybe something is coming through at that moment.
Right.
Reporting enhanced psychic abilities during that time when these things are within their space. Um, Again, sleep paralysis. In the paranormal, it's the hag syndrome, and if you are experiencing abduction, when it's happening, people have reported looking up and seeing a gray in their space. So I mean, you're getting into all those similarities. After a while, you just kind of go, so what did I really experience, or was it both?
Yes.
And then the people
That's
I
right.
work, yes,
Probably yes.
yeah. So yes to all, or yes to
Yeah. I think all. I think all. Okay.
Well,
And so a couple of comments, like what is it about our northern families? And I know it's probably not just Northern Ontario families, but what is it with families that have this history that don't want to talk about it, right? And then as an adult, you're floundering once you have this aha moment and you're having an existential life crisis because you're remembering all of this stuff, right?
yeah.
When I asked my mom, she was like, she didn't have a clue. She said, I don't have a clue what you're talking about. But then when I started poking the bear with my siblings, they were remembering things. My sister remembered stuff that I still was like tucking pretty deep, but she was remembering. And then there was conversations of stuff about my grandfather who lived beside us, right? We just had to cut through the field.
Yeah.
To get to his place and him having experiences. So
I think
frustrating.
you grow up in a certain era, like with my family, and my mom was like wide open with the whole family, like mediumship as far as their abilities and sixth senses. And she would just say, we don't talk about things like that because the neighbors will think we're crazy. We are.
Yeah.
Be quiet. We see shit all the time, and I want to talk about it. Somebody, and my mother would be just like, "Don't do it." And I hear this story from, and I'm sure you do too. And people come on the show. I hear this like a lot from people because, oh yeah, they didn't like us talking about things like that growing up. I'm like, the stories I heard throughout my family and extended family growing up, it surprises me that I ever slept at night.
So, but I like that we can sleep at night because it shows that there can be an on off and we still have autonomy and we are in charge to some degree.
Yes.
To some degree. Right.
Yeah.
But when we make an agreement with them.
Yes.
Then it all changes. Right. Especially if they have a task for you to do in being a good steward of the land, which is a big part of it, right? Like it is.
I love that though. I love that part of it. We all have little jobs to do, but I mean, out of all the work I've ever done, and I mean, I've worked, people for 20 plus years. I love the energy work and I love the planetary stuff.
Yeah.
It makes you realize the responsibility we have in caring for her, the planet Gaia, Mother Earth, whatever you want to call her. But it is such, I mean, if she fails and she dies, so do we.
Yeah.
Nothing else matters at that point.
And I feel, again, I knew I was going to talk about Richie. So it's so super cool that your intuition kicked in, that you showed up, because you guys are so, all of you, Wojo, you too, that you guys are so respectful of the land and the community when you are working. And I just saw that comment come up about, I think Wojo put it up about getting so much. I believe it's because it's a reciprocal relationship. When they know that we are respectfully doing that work, then we get more of it.
Yes, and let's say, because there is a theory that they're telepathic. If they pick up that you are there with good intention and that you're a kind person, then they're going to feel comfortable and forging that sort of a connection with you. You show up like with a pistol, and there's been so many stories where people just like, oh, I have a gun with me, or I had a pistol, not for them necessarily, but for what else is in the woods. But right off the bat, they're just like, no.
Does it have to be telepathic though? Is it just energetic, like that
Sure.
frequency that's coming off of you, or the frequency that you are vibrating at? And
Sure.
I have said it continuously. I probably annoy everybody when I'm saying it, that our personal healing and accountability matters.
Yes. 100%.
It
100%.
matters. And our thoughts, words, and actions have to be in alignment. Like, you can say all the love and light are buzzwords, which makes me have stink-eyed tight butt.
No, I say it in my road raging. Get out of my way. They drive by. Love and light. Just kidding.
I'm like, I forgive you for being an asshat, and I forgive myself for calling you one.
Yeah. After a while, it's just love and light. Let's go.
But
yeah,
I mean, it shifts so that I think that we're tapping in at a different level. It changes our frequency and raises our awareness, and then they can meet us, right?
I completely agree. You have stories, people who have properties, and they have right there.
Yes.
They develop, the people on these properties who leave gifts or of food and so on over time build this amazing relationship with their Bigfoot community, or their Bigfoot beings. And after a while they come back, they'll leave trinkets, much like what these guys do, but the Bigfoot become protective at the same time of their people. Like, they forge something really special, and that communication naturally, you just blend, you just find a way. And those who come in with ill intention, that it doesn't go so well. Like, they're not going to allow you in their community. They might like to fudge with you a little bit, but
And so then it matters too, because depending on where you go, and Richie, you don't, and Mojo, you guys don't have to comment about what I'm about to say, because I know that it's like stepping into a big pile of poo when we're trying to network at the same time. But being very mindful about who you allow in your circle, because there's always going to be somebody that wants a piece of that pie, and their idea of what they feel they're going to gain from it, and it will shift how the experience that you're having in that moment by bringing different people in. And if their intentions aren't in that right alignment, it will change everything.
Energy is everything, and not everybody jives with everybody. And same thing goes, with your, again, in this case, your Bigfoot people, your Bigfoot beings. I never really know what is the appropriate term. I mean, I know people who have been researching this stuff for years, and they have variations of things that they call them. It makes it really hard, because when you're looking at a sentient being, right?
Richie was sharing, I believe Bigfoot, as Denny mentioned, are the first humans, and some like us have become hybrids with different abilities, but them in their cells seemingly are on a higher frequency.
Absolutely.
Jen Blue, it's so nice to have you in the chat. My dad saw a lot up north and had a few things happen to him. I want to hear those stories, Jen, because I have
good old north. we
up north, northern Ontario is where it's at.
Yep. Oh, yes.
Carrie, my existential life crisis happened not that long ago. My mantra these days is, I'm not crazy, life is. Yes, I'm having an existential, and you know what? It wasn't a crisis. It's just more of a deeper awakening. Like, I thought I was aware, and now I am more aware. For sure.
It's pretty interesting when that switch goes off.
That's right. The planet is a living being. Never look at her any other way. Thank you, Wayne. Hi, Mort. Thank you so much for being here. So I believe in setting our intentions before we go into, but I also needing to be fluid because everything's going to shift and change. So that high intention, low attachment, and
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Heather. Totally agree. If the personal healing and accountability hasn't happened, the frequency shows. And the healing process, this is it. That's why when people are spewing the love and light or buzzwords and they're all like kitten toots and looking like they've not been through the mill.
Walk the walk, or talk the talk, walk the walk, I think is what it comes down to.
Wojo's sharing the woods pick up our energy. Michelle, I also believe they're telepathic, and it also goes with their spiritual.
Yes. Yes. See, I think people who are more evolved themselves, especially with that awareness, exactly, what Reggie just said, is that there is that spiritual element to many of these beings. Bigfoot, absolutely, but if you're not evolved yourself, you're not going to recognize that in another being.
Right.
You just look at that being like, and just like it's a free for all. And there are some states, if I'm not mistaken, that it is illegal to kill them. Like I think California, I read, and I've had people say that it was correct. You can be charged for murder if you kill one.
Interesting.
Right? So.
Hillbilly Herb, thank you. Ontario up north is my serenity.
Yeah.
Yes, it is for me too. My kids have heard it forever. They get tired of talking about it, but I just keep saying it to make sure that they all know that when I die, I want to be cremated and shot off in a firecracker over the northern shore of Lake Superior.
There we go.
Where I want to go.
Float you out there.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't care what they do after. Poutine bar if they want. I don't care. Whatever it is.
It's funny.
It's all good, but that's where I want to go. Up north for sure. Hello.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's a different world up there. And if those who come from there, we understand.
Yes. Because it is its own little triangle of its own.
It is. It is. Always weird stuff used to happen up there. When I say I've had weird, crazy experiences throughout my life and continues on, it's a thing. It's a thing.
Oh, Mish, that's pretty funny. Spud the gun, go out with the game. Potato guns are a thing too. My brother made one when we were kids.
No, it's great.
Oh, that's funny, Wayne. Wayne says my kids tell me they're going to put my ashes into the Kraft peanut butter jar, the one that looks like the bear.
That's funny. Oh.
Okay, station ID. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in. Everybody that is just listening or tuning in, we appreciate you being here. You are listening to Spirit Switchboard, and I'm your host, Carrie Lynn Shellhorn, and you are listening to us live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. If you're interested in checking out more of the shows and hosts that UPRN has to offer, you can head to uprntalkradio.com, and there are thousands of archives. There is something for everyone. It is not all high strangeness and paranormal. Today's guest is friend and UPRN host and all-around fabulous person, Michelle Desrochers.
Oh, thank you. I've known you for so long. It's hard to believe how long I've known you.
I know.
I love it.
I know. I wasn't a grandma, and now I am. That's how long.
I know. Same. I know. Oh my God. Yeah, a whole other world ago, but man.
Yeah.
I love you as much now as I did then.
Ditto. Super grateful. And I think that's a big part. We've talked about it, about community, right? When we find our community and why the chat, it does feel like family when we all have, because we've all had these weird experiences. So we understand.
We have some of the best chat rooms, our shows. Everybody, crosses I was going to say crosses over, but I don't want to panic everybody. There's a nice crossover of people.
But if you do, we've got your back. We can
True.
still connect.
Exactly. Right there. But we are so lucky. We just, I always say it's just like our chat family, and you are. You guys are all like amazing, and we just love and appreciate you all so very much.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, it's just keep it all going, especially on open mic night. It's just awesome. Hi, Carl.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah. So, I love it. I love it that there's so many like-minded people. And our chat rooms don't get hostile very often.
No.
It has happened on my show where I've had to just say, okay, that's it. And you have to, because when people disrespect your guest, they disrespect you. They're disrespecting other people in the chat. So it's like just keeping it nice, keeping it friendly, keeping the status quo, just keeping the vibe going. Nice certain vibe, right? So
it was Howie. So it was Ed O'Dell that taught me. He says you just pause and tell folks that you need to flush the toilet, and then you block and move them out of the chat.
That's all I do. I don't even acknowledge a comment. It's like bye-bye. So you have to. I haven't had to do it often. I've only had to do it maybe, 5 or 6 times in all the years that I've been doing the show here on the network. So that's actually pretty good odds considering. Yeah. But I'm appreciative that, the people who come on and listen, especially as the channel grows, that, they are so respectful. And a lot of people don't realize also, like during, when the world went silent for a while in the last few years, that UPRN lost a really big channel. And some of us hosts, like I myself, lost about 150 archives, and we lost tens of thousands of archives. Some of these people aren't even alive anymore on some of these shows. We're like 25-year-old networks. You can imagine everything that, that got put on there over time, right? So, but that's okay.
We're gonna keep the death stuff going. Mish is sharing. Told my kids to make china set from my bones and use me at Christmas dinner.
I love it.
They told me hell no.
Nice and creative, Mish. I like that.
So funny.
Oh my goodness.
Agreed. Life's too short. But you know what? There are people that is their role and their job, and they're just doing it to the best of their ability, and they forget that they come from the same source as everybody else, right? So that's how I try to not get caught up in feeling frustrated or
can't let it rent space in your head. Some people just are. You have to treat it like it's an irrelevant thing. It's the way it goes. We were just talking about this before I came on. You can't control what's happening. You only have control over how you handle it and how you deal with it. Wow. That's it. Right.
And this week, my 4:30 mornings all week did not leave me handling much. Well, my Chihuahua brain was pretty loud. It was a lot of like deep breathing this week for sure. Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh. Carrie, that's funny. Mish, it's a good thing you aren't Greek. Opa. And then,
yeah, exactly. The plate, exactly. My big fat Greek wedding. Where's the Windex?
Right. But I've seen all kinds of beautiful things that people do with the ashes. Like I'm sure that you have as well too. So the one that I question is being made into a tree, like those pods.
Yeah. Why?
I don't know. Like, is that not enough for a big haunted forest? Hello. We don't need to go to wherever Croatia. Where did you go?
I went to the Hoia Baciu forest, Romania. Yeah.
We'll just grow one here.
Worth every minute. Well, no, but I think why not? I mean, there are places where people donate their bodies to science, and they slap them out in the woods somewhere. And they watch how long it takes for them to decompose.
Really?
And with wildlife and insects and things like that. I would rather, if they're going to do that and bury me, that they just put a little tree thingy in there and just grows right out of you, So I don't know about the pod things, but I imagine it's just the same idea.
I don't know. I always think it's a CSI episode.
Yeah,
Grow
maybe.
mushrooms off.
Why not? As long as it's good mushrooms. Take you
No,
on a little trip.
I've never done anything like that ever. Not
Neither
even,
have I. Neither
not
have I.
even pot.
But I'll
No.
tell you something. I'm gonna leave it there. I haven't, but contemplation. Some of these days have gone.
So I have a confession, sort of, then with that. So in my Chihuahua brain are getting overstressed, especially when the kids were younger, right? So having been a single parent for such a long time, there were times where I wanted to be a smoker really bad, but I knew, like, coming from a long line about, people with addictions with both sides of the family, I'm like, if I start smoking, then I'm in trouble. But being a medium or tapping in, you can smell all that stuff. So I would like make the smell happen so that I can smell the cigarette smoke. I go, okay, now I'm good. You can now. Yeah.
I have never been a smoker. I have to say.
Pardon?
I've never been like a smoker.
No,
I was, people always say, you're trying to be one of the cool kids in school and you're the one that doesn't smoke. And they're looking at you like you're not a cool kid. And I'm just like, but I'm going to be alive and my teeth are always going to be white. So it ages you.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Oh, that's.
Yep. It's funny.
Yes. I've heard that too. Actually, I've seen it with a client, Carl. There's a place that makes gemstones from the ashes, for sure.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
When my mother passed, I bought these pendants that were all glass hearts, and to put locks of her hair in.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it's different. I mean, it's a big Victorian thing, like who used to make the wreaths and the beautiful designs, and I've got mourning jewelry from the 1800s. That's what it all is. And I said, you know what? I'm going to just buy these for my sisters and my daughter, and we're going to put my mother's locks of her hair in there. And it's just strange. My mother always used to say, I went prematurely gray and I was 20. And yet, before she passed, her hair was this beautiful white, flowing hair. She goes, I've never had hair this great my whole life. I was like, well, great. You can laugh about it.
Crazy. The Ireland House in Ancaster has a beautiful Victorian, I don't know what they're called. I don't know what the right term is, Michelle.
Ireland House, that's one in Burlington?
Sorry, in Burlington.
It's a wreath. Is it the wreath?
So it's, but it's stunning. Like, it looks like little flowers, but it's all made out of hair from their family structure.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. It's one of my favorite pieces, one of the favorite pieces in that
And museum. They would just add to it with the different family members and stuff, right? Yeah, they're beautiful.
It's stunning. Beautiful. So I love that idea of having.
We have a small one here.
The heart locket with the.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's a lot of work.
I have my kids' hair from when they were small. I kept all of their hair from their first haircuts.
I know.
Stuff like that. But then when you have witchy kids, that's the first thing,
hair and teeth. I think that's a bad idea.
Yeah. Exactly. When you've got that going on.
Yes.
It's my kid, actually. When she was in university, there's some Mean Girls stuff. And I said, Brooklyn, what did you do? She says, don't worry, Mom, I grabbed some hair. And I went, okay, Chickie, you do what you need to do. You deal with it however you feel that you need to. Carl, me too. So when the smoker spirits communicate or come in, I can smell all of that too. But for me, I ask them to shift it. And so when you start seeing me doing this, then I've got a smoker. Everybody knows my cue now. When this happens, it's like, oh, smoker just arrived in the room. So if you have not gone to the Ireland House, I take people there 3 or 4 times a year. I am there so much. I love the Ireland House. I want to be like the retired Walmart greeter at the Ireland House. I have told them that. I want to volunteer.
It's a beautiful place. Years and years and years ago, I filmed there. and it did a seance with the film people and the curator at the time. And
Right.
it was so much fun, the stuff that happened.
Yeah.
And after that, she's like, had to lock up because it was late. And she was, "Can you just walk through it with me?" I'm
But
like,
they
"All right."
want to
They
engage. Like they are
do.
so proud of
Yeah,
their home.
they are.
90% of the house is their original artifacts and belongings.
Yeah,
You walk
yes.
in and it starts. And I think because when you build relationships in places, right?
100%. That's what it's the same thing. We're talking about that same crossover thing, right?
Mhm.
With Bigfoot, it is the same with spirit people. Some researchers go in and say nothing happened. Well, first off, that bad attitude you have probably doesn't help, but
Yep.
it helps if you're dealing with spirit people, then they're still people. And you have to build a rapport. Otherwise, you're just
Mhm.
a stranger coming into their space, demanding that you communicate with them,
Mhm.
many times, and that doesn't work that way.
Mm-mm. I think that has made a difference as well too. When I take people, it actually surprised uh, um, the, the staff. So I asked them if they could give me the drawings of the house, so the layout and a map, and I mapped all of the experiences that we've had and what equipment we've used and how we've backed it up.
Nice.
When I take people, I give them that map, and then I've written like 2 or 3 pages of questions. Here's how you ask questions.
Mhm.
Here's how you can engage. Here's how
Yeah.
you can have this, experience in a positive way. And I've brought people for the very first time in years, because it's been
Mhm.
a very long time that I've been going there. We had somebody who was quite salty, a little bit
Yeah.
cussy.
Oh,
And it was the very first time that George Ireland said "get out" ever in all of the years. He was like,
wow.
"Get out," and
Yeah.
it was the first time that we've had that happen.
Wow. It
It
goes
was
to show you they have their moods as well. You have to show respect. Like when I did all the events at Casa Loma for a few years. Every single night before an event, I would walk through the halls of the castle and I would say, because Sir Henry Pellet owned it. I would say, "Sir Henry," and he was there, many of the times, not always, but there were a lot of reports of it. And one time I heard footsteps behind me. And so I just kept walking and up on the second floor. And I said, "We're expecting about 120 people tonight. And this is where we're going to be starting in the house. We're going to be dividing the chore." He was a businessman. I would include him in what was going on,
Yeah.
right? I say, and I would tell whatever the spirits are there. Says you may interact, you don't have to interact, because with a lot of people with that much energy coming in, it shifts things. And
Huge.
I wanted them to be prepared for that because a lot of that money got raised, for the castle at that time before it was taken
Yeah.
over, when the Kiwanis were still there. And I was just like, the
And for them
crowds are very
to
important.
know, we do not need them to be entertainment monkeys.
No, not at all. Not at all. So it was always a nice interaction. So many people had a wonderful time. And if they didn't like you, you go down into the tunnels. People get rocks thrown at them because there were little stones in there. And every now and then you'd hear, "Ow!" And then you hear something fall. Go, "So you threw a rock at me." It's like, whose
Get
cornflakes
out.
did you pee in?
I love going into tunnels.
Oh, me too. I used to be able I would often be given the castle at night to investigate, and I would keep all the lights out. They loved me because I didn't want lights on anywhere. I'd run up and down. I got to know it like the back of my hand.
Nice.
I knew exactly where it was, where every little nook and cranny of it, because I just mapped it off in sections, like what you did with Ireland House, map it off in
Yeah.
sections, and after a while, we just knew exactly where things were.
Yeah.
You know.
I love that you did that. I mean, it's not an investigation, but when we lived in an apartment building, when I had the kids and moved back to Ontario from Alberta, we were
Yes.
in this apartment building, and I would make them be outside of our door with their eyes closed and count how many steps it took them to get to the stairs.
Ah, see, that's
I'm
good.
like, give me my kids would be fine in tunnels.
That's it, exactly.
Figure
I'm
it
that
out.
kind of mom. Yeah.
I was that kind of mom. Oh
Oh,
yeah.
it was great. I love doing kids events for the castle. They brought me in for all their school events, and we put
Love
together
it.
programs, and You know, I would always just say to the kids, well, if you like ghosts, you have to like science and you have to like history.
And the discernment that you have to learn, right?
Yes.
In
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. We always make it something fun, and then kids grow up with a little bit less fear.
There's so much open. Sorry, let's start pulling some of this up. Interesting. Some houses kept and preserved, and they are abandoned mansions, completely abandoned. YouTubers have channels walking through them and not kept. It's a wild world out there.
Mm.
So it's a whole other ballgame when you're talking about YouTube and TikTok and
Mhm.
those kind of investigations, ethics of it as well too, permission.
Mhm.
There's that.
There's a lot of stuff. And there's this thing where people think an abandoned place is a haunted place. A cemetery is haunted. I think there's stereotypical things that people assume, well, this is going to be haunted.
Yeah.
Many times it's not. It just
No.
looks like it should be, but it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that it is,
Yeah.
right?
I still
So,
love exploring pioneer cemeteries, and the
oh,
ones that are
yes.
on the, that are kind of dug in deep, that have been forgotten
Yes.
about. That, yeah,
Oh, I have to tell you about, I did a magazine article years and years and years ago, early days, and it was about cemeteries that have been vandalized or old cemeteries that have been forgotten about. So when I was up north, I was invited to investigate this location that had to do with, old sawmills up in what would have been called, I think, Lower Canada at that point.
right,
And there was this town was almost a ghost town. And they said, if you go back to this space, you're going to see the old cemetery. It was a forest. And every now and then you would just you were walking over, deceased people. Every now and then you walk in, there would be this large headstone, or there would be like children's headstone. Cause back, like how many hundreds of years ago, a couple hundred years ago,
yeah,
influenza, pneumonia. I mean, it didn't take much,
right,
for little ones to pass, adults as well. But it was a completely abandoned cemetery. So, I was asked to take all these photos for this article. So I went back, after a couple of months, and after the article, amazingly, somebody, when I went back again, I think Wayne and I went, parts of it had actually starting to be cleared out.
oh, that's lovely.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody was started clearing it out. And it was amazing because with some of the brush cut back, you'd be just like, "Oh my gosh, look at how many there are here."
Yeah, yeah.
Old, really old ones, because a lot of people settled up there, right?
So I have run into like spirits at some of those cemeteries that were needing some
Mhm.
assistance in moving on, and when you ask them why, it was because they passed here before they could get their family here. Like,
Oh, see?
so they weren't, so they're
Wow.
just hanging around because they were waiting for somebody to notice them and help them moving on where they were needing to go, because they passed tragically
Mhm,
before, like, they were working to bring their
mhm,
family.
mhm. See? And you don't think of things like that. You don't think
I
that
do.
they're
I
still
love it.
sitting there waiting. Yeah,
No, not that I love that they're stuck, but I
no,
love that I feel pulled, like, that's,
yes.
and yeah, that's
I
my
think that
fun Sunday
it's
afternoon.
incredible. Yeah, like, maybe still waiting for their family, right? Like,
Oh,
that's a tough one.
um, one of my favorite visits was to Grant's house. And if I know that I'm gonna muck it up because I mispronounce everything. So is it Galena? Galena? Illinois. I was walking up the stairway and suddenly smelled cigar smoke. I looked down at my hand and saw a cigar poking out from a weathered hand.
Not crazy.
That's a very cool place.
Yeah, it's like a cool crazy, though. You know?
But if that's how you work, right? Like,
Yes. Mhm. It takes a
then
lot of energy, for a spirit person to manifest anything,
yeah,
you know? It's not like other entities which just seem to have a lot more energy. for them to be able to do things. Yeah.
Mortality rate was very high in the 1700s through the 1800s. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Wayne. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's been 13 years. Oh, that's interesting. 13 years since I've had rocks thrown at me by Bigfoots.
Yeah. It's that guy.
So do you communicate with them before you go? Because
Yeah. Yeah. I think you just tap in, if they're telepathic, and I really believe they are. I think they're more evolved than we give them credit for.
Mm-hmm. And when you do have those experiences, I think that they've, especially if you've been going out prior, they already know that you're going, and they probably, that's their gift to you in allowing you to see them.
Mm-hmm. And it is a gift. It is a gift. It really is. I think a lot of it's just attitude as well. Leave your attitude at home, leave your ego at home, and no matter which level of high strangeness that you are participating in, whether it's the paranormal, whether it's cryptozoology, especially with Bigfoot. I mean, they're very caring about the planet and the earth and their space, even with some extraterrestrial beings, they are not all of them are, malevolent
Right.
douches, so to speak. Some of them are very, very,
Well,
they're very kind. They really are like a love and light sort of thing,
yeah. But
So
you need to expect that. I mean, that's just how it is. There's the spectrum.
Yes. Yes.
And there's always going to be in between in there,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
then how would you encourage people to stay grounded and curious at the same time? To stay grounded and have discernment and be curious when they're doing these sorts of things?
I think if you find yourself a really good grounding technique, it just helps to keep you focused. Grounding just keeps your energy from being scattered, kind of being all over the place. It keeps you focused. It's easier to communicate with other energy if your energy is focused.
Yeah.
That's just what I find, If you're having a bad day, for example, then ground. And then watch how the focus starts to come in because your energy's not all over the map. Squirrely.
Well, and it's more, I think to help, it helps you have discernment with whatever it is that you're receiving, knowing if it's your stuff, their stuff, stuff in spirit, dimensional. It just helps you be able to connect.
Yeah. I can only say what's worked for me and, multitudes of people I've worked with over the years. I've always highly recommended a form of grounding. Whether you work with frequencies, whether, you work with like binaural beats, I'm all about them.
I'm a fan too.
Me too. I love them. You don't have to have necessarily a technique, but anything that helps to put you in Yes, I know. It was a quiet day though,
We're not
wasn't it?
setting the intention and inviting them back.
That's right. Love and light.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Mindset is everything. I truly believe mindset is everything. I think that we can either project energy or you can, when you're not grounded, it's easier to project that stuff out, right? So
Yeah.
that's another good reason to just stay put with your energy.
Heather, I've been waiting for some kind of story about your property because I feel like that's common. So Heather is asking, I'm guessing going in with a transparent, open heart intention would be recognized by them easier.
Yes. Yes. I agree. I think many of them are superior in their spirituality and their energy than many humans are.
Oh, thanks, James, popping in.
Aw. The fur babies.
Yes. He's got some beautiful fur babies. Sometimes, do you know what? So all of this, so I haven't grounded properly in weeks. I normally stand barefoot on my granite stone a few times a day. I think when my kids were small too, I used to keep play sand in a bucket and I would let them put their feet in play sand. But
That's a good idea.
yeah,
Earthing.
and texturally, if you know, again in the spectrum, but water. But I have been known
No.
sometimes during the show, sometimes during the show or in sessions, and of having a bucket of warm water with Epsom salts in it, and I just keep my feet in it when I know that it may be particularly
No, it's a good idea.
because it's clearing. But I mean, there's all kinds of stuff, tuning forks and
Oh.
just even clapping your hands.
Oh my gosh. How many times do I do that? I have tuning forks on my desk.
Yeah. I do too.
I have a gong. I have
my drawer.
Tuning forks. I have bells.
Yes. Yes.
Chimes. It's like, yes. See, when you know, you know.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And then, so I have tuning forks that I'll bring in the car as well too, but then I just have like a clearing spray, and a lot of it is intention, but
yes,
I have all of that stuff in the car.
See, I'm glad you brought that up, because people will sometimes say, well, I want to clear my house, and they think it's just a matter of going around with a smudge stick and things like that. I'm like, no. I said it's the intention.
Yes.
The strength of your intention, the power behind the words that you're using or the thoughts that you have, if that's the way you're going, the power of your intention in the act of clearing, that's where you get your success. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just this. I mean, you have to have a technique, you have to have a strong intention, and you have to have a powerful inner voice as to, I have found for myself, and in working with people, they're like, they love it. And it gets to a point where even long after, they are taking care of their own space just by learning how to do it. And they keep up with it long after, because you're like, if I'm having a bad day, I can come home and cleanse my space and I feel really good. If I have an argument with somebody in the house, well, technically, if you think about it, if you're having words with somebody in the house and, arguments over, disagreements over, and you come back into that same space a couple of hours later and wonder why you're feeling a bit hostile or foul, maybe you might want to cleanse that space, because it come back and, oh, bless you, comes back and it bites you in the butt, So,
always does.
Yeah.
And I think I feel I'm going to roll that back and rephrase it.
Yeah.
Feel that there is more oomph to it if you understand what your cultural and background is. So if you understand what your ancestors did and where you came from, and you're honoring that process for your own culture, it makes a difference.
Yes.
And I feel, more people are kind of starting to understand the importance of that, and understanding why they feel homesick. That homesickness is the not working with your ancestors and understanding where you come from, right?
Because they're
you
with
want to share into that, if you want to talk about that for a bit.
No, I love that, because I've got all these different ancestries. so and a lot of it's pretty badass. So it's really good, because you get into those cultural things and you embody that, and it makes so much difference, because they're always there anyway.
That's right.
If you're not doing it right, you're being nudged into the direction of, because you get those thoughts, well, you're not doing it right, or you should do it like this. Or I've had my grandfather come through and goes, you have to do this or do this or do this, not just with clearing, with anything.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, like he prompted me years ago, as you and I know this, and okay, you have to go to France, and I'm just like, and I was set to go. I don't know if I was just set to go to Romania, or I had just come back from Romania. But I remember at one point communicating with him saying, well, I'm going to Romania. And he goes, what about France? I will get to France. Then it came to a point where he goes, well, you have to go here and you have to do this, but it's going to be harder in the wintertime. So you might not want to do that. So I'm not freaking Indiana Jones. And I never understood it until I got to France and I'm standing in the spot he told me to go to. And I'm like, yeah, see, in my mind, I find myself saying, yeah, this would not work in the winter.
Right?
Thanks, Grandpa. Yeah, thank God it wasn't, but.
And that it's my great grandfather that comes in and was the kickstart for me. And then
nice.
Interesting how that all unfolded, right? And
Yes.
people want to lean more to the ladies, to the women, but
Yes.
those men that come in are connected and strong and
For me, yes, as well.
Yeah.
As you know.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
I
do.
Yeah.
Wayne, that's so funny. All the time for me. What am I doing wrong? We can't tell you. So maybe you need to change your question.
What am I doing wrong? Yes.
How can I learn better? Good point to find out the rituals of your ancestors. Carl is sharing, my ancestors got the surname Sup in Bohemia as they were falconers near
Love that.
Pisek, an old Czech.
Yeah.
Sup means birds of prey. That's pretty cool.
I love that.
Thank you for sharing that. Kathy Little, thank you so much for being here, is sharing, I honor my ancestors by having bells on my doors and hanging rosemary at my front door.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool.
Beautiful.
Very much.
Yes. I don't know. I think it's very important, because you come from all of this, and it's important to embody it, to embrace it. I have always loved ancient history, and when I started getting on the track, long before the whole DNA thing, when I started getting on track with my ancestry, I'm fortunate because I have an uncle who wrote an entire novel and did all the research for my mom's side of the family, right? So it was fascinating information. So I had a bit of an edge that way, but as I was able to continue on, especially considering, they will speak to you, right? I've had some, Carrie Lynn, I've had some just even working with ITC, and I'm getting information and I'm going, but I, being logical, at least I try to be, started cross-referencing things to death and started realizing like all the similarities and started finding more information on my own and then going to places and it's a continued evolution or journey to evolution, evolving yourself, evolving your abilities. And as that happened, all of the answers were being presented a lot faster.
Exactly.
Right? It's like a domino effect. And I say to people, just be ready, because when the floodgates open, you might not be left standing for long. Right? So
and it shifts for the generations underneath us.
Yes, yeah, it does. Yeah, I believe that completely.
Mm-hmm.
Because all of our personal journeys are different. We all want to end up in the same place as to our destination. It's like people who come into your life. Sometimes they're there for a short amount of time. Other times they're there just to teach you a lesson. Other times they're there for the duration, right? And sometimes you just surpass and you just realize like not everybody can follow at the same time. They all have their own path to take. If you're lucky, you got one person squirreling around, going all over the place, and you got somebody who's very more focused and doesn't have any fun in life, just goes straight down the road. But in the end, hopefully you meet up at the destination and say, wow, we made it. One person might be waiting a little longer for that other person to be coming along. But, it's important to again, embrace your path. And, sometimes it can be frustrating. Other times, I hear people say, God, we're living at great times. I'm like, which dimension are you in? But there's great things things that happen to everybody. You're just kind of looking at what's going on in the world, going, where are you right now?
Right?
Yeah.
I continuously talk about standing outside at 10 o'clock at night with a flashlight, flashing it up into going, why haven't you picked me up yet?
Yeah.
Where are you?
Exactly. I am still waiting. I know.
I'm ready. Vibrate me off the planet. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Just reassuring folks I do not have any kind of ideation going on. It's just, you feel kind of tired sometimes.
You do. You do. And I think it's wonderful, that people are becoming more open-minded to the things around them. You really have to look to the past to be able to look into the future.
So funny thing about that though, like if you follow astrology, those people who do those astrologists are like busy campers right now because there's so much that's happening that there is no history to how the planets are lining up, and
yes,
there's lots of new things that age of Aquarius that is happening as well too. So
and again, I think it's the age, but it's all been around at some point once before. And, the planet has its way of giving up her secrets, and history has a way of resurfacing.
Yeah, agreed.
It does come back because we forget. We're this, that's kind of like the cruel joke in a way. Like we come back, all right, we're here to do it again because, apparently it didn't do something wrong the first or do something right the first time. You got to redo it.
I'm not coming back.
Yeah. But the thing is, do you ever notice that they don't let you remember? And you're like, okay, well, how do I know what I did wrong and what I'm supposed to fix? Well, we can't tell you. What? What do you mean? Right.
I did a crazy Life Between Lives session with this fabulous lady named Marilyn Kaufman. And that was another brilliant, life existential crisis for a little tiny bit moment. And I had E.T. show up in this as well too, and it was crazy. She said normally it's an hour and a half, and I was there for 3.5 hours, zooming all over the place, being shown stuff, and I'm like, I want to know that I don't have to come back. I've done my shite, so that I don't have to come back. Have I learned it all? And if I have not, that was my intention. If we're doing Life Between Lives, I want to make sure that I have not signed up to do round 2. If anybody y'all, if we are all hooked in and we are doing this together and you decide that you need me to help you learn a lesson, I agree. Hit me with a shovel. No.
Read the fine print, is what I say.
No.
Oh, I know. I think we're all supposed to, those of us who are here are supposed to be here for a reason,
Oh, Carl, that's pretty funny. Social historical amnesia is real.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Apparently. Sadly. Yes.
Marilyn is very amazing. I'm glad that you went to see her, Heather, and that you had a good experience as well too. I suppose if it wasn't, it's all an experience. For sure. Who do you have coming up on shows next week?
Oh God, I've got great things coming up.
I have. Do you know what? I do not. I have somebody booked February 20th coming on Spirit Switchboard, and I apologize now, but he's the caretaker for Robert the Doll.
It's going to be good. A hostile little doll.
Hostile little doll. So yeah, that's February 20th. Other than that, my calendar is pretty full. So we are in the works for filling up that calendar.
I love it. We're so fortunate, on this network. We've got a great amount of people who love to come on to all of these shows. I always get so humbled. I feel bad sometimes, because like right now I'm booking into like middle of April for the night show, which is 2 nights a week. So it is a lot of work. And I always feel bad kind of going, oh God, end of April. Like you don't know what they're going to say.
Great.
And
I think I
it's
do.
humbling. It's so humbling when they're like, yeah, well, that's okay. We'll wait. I'm like, I
It
love
is
you.
Right.
Yeah, it's wonderful. But Beyond the Outer Realm, which is Tuesday afternoon at 2, I've got Alexander Cheshkowitz, who's been on like he's been on like a couple years ago with a book called Deja Vu, has everything that been or everything it has already been kind of thing. And we're going to actually connect up and we're going to sort of, how does he want to put it? We're going to get back into some of this ancient stuff, so we're going to be looking at how history is kind of rearing its head again. So like a deja vu, how remember we talked about how the planet's just giving it up and how this history is starting to resurface. This man, he's just at 19 years old, he wrote this crazy book, which is so detailed, and it was done in Polish, and then he just translated it to English, and it has to be one of the most incredible books I've ever written at 19 years old.
Crazy.
Now he's doing like university studies, supervised university studies, and just crazy stuff. Brilliant. Talks on Atlantis. Brilliant. He's just brilliant. So I'm really happy. He's in Poland. So he's going to be on the day show. And on the Outer Realm, we've got Tim Malone coming on, who's going to be talking about these big spiritual, things that have happened to him in this journey, not just paranormal, but like just crazy stuff, overcoming addiction and all kinds of things like that. And open mic, Wayne and I on
fun.
It'll be fun. I'm still playing with the topic, but I have to share the 11th, which is going to be Spooky Appalachia. These guys are great. I love it too. One of these guys used to do a lot of voiceovers for Mountain Monsters.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much.
Me too. I emailed back and I said, oh, I just freaking loved that show.
I did too. I will admit it out loud. I just loved it. And
it was great.
Because Wayne is, yes, I am sorry to be told.
You'll just be there. It's going to be a really good show. I already have an idea in my head, but yeah, it's going to be a lot of stuff.
Super fun.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That you hung out with me today. And
I love hanging out with you.
So
yeah, thank you. It was a lot of fun. And thanks to everybody in the chat room for keeping it interesting. You just make our job that much easier. So
that's right.
Thank you.
We appreciate all of you. Thank you everybody in the chat for hanging out, your comments and questions. You guys help make the show what it is. So thank you so very much. And thank you to Joe Montaldo, our network owner. We appreciate him as well, too. Thank you very much. The United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. I hope everybody stays safe and warm wherever you are at. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you here next week at 6:10. Good night, everybody. Bye.